say something?
Sherry Payson, Park Board Commissioner. First off, I'd like to invite the public to our meeting, which is tomorrow night at 7 o'clock in the room down the hall, the big room down the hall. It's at 7. We're going Pacific Partnerships first, and then we won't have a quorum until 7, so it's been delayed until 7. Tomorrow night's agenda includes improvements on 2 of our main parks, which is Centennial and Aspen, and other repairs and everything on Broken. So if you want to see your park board in action, actually, come on down and visit with us. It is open to the public. Then the other matter on hand is, of course, Earth Day, which I've been up here every week talking about, because we still do not have a resolution on whether Earth Day can happen or not. If the committee, or not the committee, the council tells me that we can't have Earth Day without insurance, there's been no resolution on the insurance. Ken and Paul are both trying to. I cannot. Was put in charge of Earth Day, the committee, and I can't do anything until I can say whether we actually have an event or not. I have a company that is willing to print our postcards for us for free. I have a company that is willing to buy our main giveaway, which this year could be umbrellas or backpacks, for free. I have not been able to solicit donations because I can't feel that I can go to a company and say I need $500 for postage. Oh, by the way, I forgot, we can't have it yet. You know, I mean, I look like a fool. So until somebody can tell me Earth Day can happen, I can't proceed. And if I don't proceed, I would say by the end of this week, Earth Day will go back down to what it was, which is nothing more than picking up trash. Because we won't have any advertising, we won't have any funds to buy anything else for giveaways, we won't have anything because there is no money. And there is no permission to have the event. I can't do it in 3 or 4 weeks. It takes 2 weeks just to print the postcards and get them in the mail. So I need a resolution from somebody telling me I can proceed. Definitely.
Okay. Can I make a comment on that?
Certainly, Mr. Mayor. I hope you will.
Suggest to help you. Why don't you get together with me and we'll initiate that resolution with all of your knowledge with the city clerk, and we'll present it at the next board session. Would that be comfortable for you?
My next board meeting is tomorrow. If we wait until the 19th, which is the following board meeting, we're having one next week also, that's really the tail end of when I can do anything, because the deadlines are looming and I just don't have enough time. But until we get the insurance, Mr. Mayor, is the biggest drawback. I could probably solicit the money, but if we don't get the insurance, we can't have the event. And I hate the word insurance, I really do.
That's the reason why we have to get organized. Is this the first time you came up to us?
Oh, no.
No.
I've been here every week for a month.
I wasn't here every week for a month.
So if I remember right, the event's not actually intended to be put on by the park board. It's intended to be put on by Pacific Partnership?
It is a partnership between the two entities. Pacific Partnership, since the park board cannot manage funds on its own, Pacific Partnership manages our funds. They also do things like coordinate the trash, what am I thinking of?
The bins.
The waste station. They provide the lunch. You know, they do some of the activities also. But it's a partnership between us because of the funding. They're the 501c, we are not.
Right. So I think because of that, I think the event would officially be held by Pacific Partnership that we're a partner or sponsor, whatever that's in.
They have no money to pay for insurance, period.
Right. So I guess, if I remember, our previous conversation about this, unless I'm confusing it with another event, that our insurance, even if our carrier already provided that coverage to us, because it's held by an entity other than the city, there's no way for us to provide that insurance. And so it sounded like the best bet was for that entity to go out on the market and look for insurance coverage.
That entity doesn't know how, but I've heard both ways.
Okay.
James, I hear that, no, we're covered because it is a park board function, and I've heard, no, we're not covered because it's a Pacific Partnerships function, so I don't know.
Okay, sounds like Leanne.
Leanne?
My understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, Betty, that this was resolved because it is a city-sponsored event, because it's the park board, that event is covered by our insurance. It's Pacific Days that comes in question because that's been a Pacific Partnerships event. But the park board, being an entity or a branch of the city, the insurance covers that event because the park board is putting it on. Even though they're partnering with partnerships, it doesn't matter. It's the city event with the park board doing it. The city park board.
But we have to have that separate rider insurance that I've been told we have to have.
I was told we were covered last
That, the conversation I remember from the workshop last Monday was that in order for it would have to be a city event. And the city would have to have control of the event, otherwise, because if the city covers it, then it falls under the city's insurance, then the city takes the entire liability for it. Now, I understood that that wasn't something that the city wanted to do. If that's something the city wants to do, then it falls under our deductible.
Well, I can see the difference between Pacific Days. That's always been a partnership event, even though the city has always sponsored in the past. In the past, our insurance has always covered it, different insurance companies. The park board is an extension of the city. It's the city that is part of the city.
But we don't put on Pacific Days.
I'm talking about Earth Day.
Yeah.
I was under the impression that that was a partnership deal also.
No, it's not.
So, it's a policy decision that council has to make.
That was my understanding, and if I'm wrong, from our conversation that took place on Monday with the park board being an extension of the city, a branch of the city, a part of the city, it's a city function, even though they're partnering up a partnership, park board is the lead on it, and our insurance would cover it.
That's a policy decision that this council has to make.
Our insurance, do they cover it if it's a city event?
If the city says it's a city event, then the insurance covers it. That's a policy decision as to whether it's a city event or if it's something that the park board is working with them on.
Is there a definition of city event?
As I understand it, it means the city has control of the event. And the city takes the liability.
Jerry Halsey?
As I recall, the council voted to allow the park board to participate or co-sponsor the event.
You waived the fees for us to use the city facilities, yes.
But during that waiver, you also considered as co-sponsors of the event.
That's correct, we are.
So the city is co-sponsoring the event already.
We actually need the event.
Okay, so we are sponsoring the event.
Okay, that's the policy decision, then the insurance covers it. The insurance takes the liability.
To make it formal, I would like to make a motion that the city consider the, spring cleanup as a city event.
Not Earth Day.
Earth Day, that's, well, same thing.
No,
Yeah, no.
different. One's in May.
Actually, spring cleanup, I think, is a waste management thing.
Oh, that's right, but, I was talking about Earth Day, I'm sorry. That the Earth Day be a city event.
Would you like to make that motion?
Oh, it should be.
Second. Or did you second?
I second the motion.
Gary.
Is there any discussion among the, okay, the chair has recognized the, you made the motion. Okay. Keep looking at it. I recognize you.
Okay, thank you. So, this has been an ongoing event, it's been put on by the park board, partnership has helped with it, this needs to continue, it's a very important event for the city, that's why I have to see it move forward.
The chair recognizes the second motion.
It's a significant function in that it allows the community to come together, help clean things up and make it a better place to live.
Debate by the council?
I just want to make sure that our insurance is contacted and confirmed that it's a city function, that it's covered. That's why I just want to make sure that,
When the police department has their night out
yeah.
and their bike rodeo, those were the specific city-sponsored functions, and those are covered. If you're saying this is a city-sponsored covered event, then it is covered by our insurance company, and the city is taking full liability for anything that happens under our new coverage.
I'd like to make a suggestion to the council. From what I hear, we're persevering back and forth and don't have a definite solution to the insurance company.
Yeah, we do.
Because we're moving up fast on the date for the Earth Day. I think what we should do is get together with the park, maybe a couple of council members, myself, and work out the problem and get definite answers as to the insurance on it. We could immediately move ahead.
Right. The finance director says we do have a definite answer. The insurance will cover it.
Is it written down?
We have it.
Per the insurance company, if it's a city-sponsored event, then it is covered under our insurance and no additional rider is needed. That means the city takes the liability for the event under our new policy.
Okay, so
The question was, is it a city-sponsored event or a Pacific Partnerships event? Council has decided to, they haven't voted yet, but if they vote in favor of it, then they have decided it's a city-sponsored event. Therefore, it would be covered by the city's insurance. That is also covered with the conversation I had with Pat Mason at MRSC, who confirmed the same thing our insurance
Any other debate by the council?
I do. I worry about, given our current insurance policy and the amount of deductible that we have there, and the fact that we're brand new insured to that policy. It worries me about adding new events and new liabilities onto that, so.
It's not new.
Something that's gonna change my mind, I'm probably gonna vote no tonight.
This is the 6th year.
Yeah, but I also think that I heard you say that if we don't do this, we go back to the way the event.
That still needs to be covered, but the event will only be trash pickup if I don't have any time. It still needs to be covered, or there's no event at all.
So how have we done insurance for this event in years previous?
The park board did not know that insurance was even in question for the last 5 years.
It was covered.
The question never came up, apparently because of the previous period.
Any other comments from the council? Comments from the audience?
Yeah, come on.
Judy?
Oh, okay.
Both of them. Okay, I'll share. All right.
Jean Fancher, 3724 55th Avenue South, and Friends of the Lower White River. 5-6 years ago, Friends of the Lower White River approached the city council and asked to conduct an Earth Day Pacific pickup event, and we asked to meet it in the parking lot and have trash containers, a dumpster. We collected about 700 pounds. Pacific Partnerships members, Friends of the Lower White River, which was formed a little later, and the park board all participated. When we got more volunteers coming, we added a volunteer appreciation lunch. The council passed a resolution waiving the fee for the use of the senior center, so the Pacific Partnerships folks could cook the lunch in the senior center and people could come in and get warm. And that's basically what's happened for the last several years. Sherry with the park board last year stepped up to the plate and volunteered to, with the park board and your blessing, to make it a bigger event, better event by using advertising and postcards, getting more people coming. The main use of the city property has been the parking lot for the dumpsters and the community center, senior center building for cooking and serving lunch. In previous years, because it was approved by the council as basically a citywide community event with participation by the park board, by planner and park board liaison Paula Weech, by Public Works for arranging for the dumpsters, we were covered under the insurance. And that was the understanding, that it was a community event. The only reason Pacific Partnerships is, I don't want to say the only reason they're a co-sponsor, but because of the city's accounting methods and how money has to go into the books and then be requested and requisitioned and vouchers submitted, the process was too time-consuming for Sherry or me or anybody else to buy things or rent things, get the food, do whatever we needed to do. So Pacific Partnerships agreed to be the fiduciary. The donations went in to their account, earmarked for the park board for Earth Day. And that's been their main function. They don't, and the lunch. They don't plan Earth Day. They don't do all the recruiting except their members. They are a co-sponsor in that they handle the money and cook the lunch. And people have, we had 40, 50, no.
We had 111 people.
111 people last year, up from 7.
And 7,200 pounds of trash.
Up from 700. So a 10-fold increase in trash and a more than 10-fold increase in community volunteers. I think the problem is focusing on a nonprofit and thinking of it as their event. It's not their event. It is our event, our community event. Pacific Park Board, City of Pacific, your logo's on the poster. I could have brought it in. We do Earth Day. Friends of the Lower White River, Pacific Partnership, Lions Club, yes, the White River Valley Lions. Everybody is contributing. The city is the umbrella organization that I hope is, it's a city event. Just because a non-paid person who represents the city is organizing it, I don't think it makes a difference. Any questions?
And this year we're expanding it. At least that was the hope. We're getting people in, like the master gardeners and recyclers and composters and organic farmers to come in and put up information tables so that people that don't want to collect trash will still come down to the event.
If you are worried about liability, you can do what other groups do, is ask the participants to sign an indemnity, a waiver that they take personal responsibility, but yeah, you hate to do that. Nobody's gotten hurt, there have been no accidents, people don't walk in the streets, they go to the park and they go along the sidewalks and they pick up trash. And they participate by, oh, Josh, what did you do last year?
Oh, cleaned up the park out here, the landscaping.
Yeah, were you allowed to use power tools?
I don't think anybody.
No, we're not allowed.
Any available to use anyway.
Yeah, we're not allowed to use power tools. We're only we use gloves and grabbers, and we got vests. Bring your own vests, hard hat, gloves.
They bring their own shovels and rakes.
Yep. If we do that, that was the Pacific Park cleanup. So, I think my 3 minutes are up.
Probably.
Okay.
Or more than that. But I do respectfully submit to the council that this event is important, especially this year, because we need to bring the community back into recognizing that the city is progressive.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can you restate the motion for me, because we talked about you can hear it, what?
Yeah, I didn't hear it exactly, maybe Leanne could restate it.
I made a motion that the Earth Day be considered a city-sponsored event because it's put on by the park board.
the Earth Day for 2013 be considered an event of the city of Pacific. Roll call of council.
Ted Walker,
Aye.
John Dillon,
Aye.
Josh Putnam,
Aye.
James McCann,
No.
Leanne Dyer,
Aye.
Elsie Wilkie,
Aye.
vote 5-1, James voted no.
I like she called you out.
Motion passes.
I voted no. Good.
You're still there.
Motion's passed. I got one question. How close are we to the deadline for the, Earth Day?
April 27th?
April 27th.
April?
April
27th.
27th, 6 weeks.
If we can do to the public works director, would you contact the public works director and see what we can do to help you expedite whatever problems you have?
Jim, are you gonna be at the meeting tomorrow?
I can be.
7 o'clock?
Yeah.
Okay, I just contacted him. He'll be at our meeting tomorrow. We'll discuss it then.
Let's meet with him tomorrow. Thank you.
27th.
Any other, board members, civil service, planning commission, South King County Transportation Board, Pierce County Regional Council,
SBA. So I was unable
the
to.
city council.
Oh, yeah, and the SBA meeting I was unable to attend, I was out of town for business, but I believe y'all got, I think you sent
Oh,
out the
the
note from the last meeting that they had it on the 6th, I was in Olympia, that was scheduled for the conference. So, hopefully you got all the notes, the next meeting is, in April.
What are you going to present the next meeting, you said?
No, I'll be at the next SBA meeting, the 6th meeting.
Okay. Next on the agenda is a public hearing, amendment.
There's still more.
I asked you that.
I just had a question. I think we skipped the city council.
That's what I asked him to go back to.
I saw the police positions posted on the reader board. Can you give any details around that?
Yes, I will. Last time they sent me two candidates to select from. I decided that I wanted to look at all the candidates. I asked for all the folders. The folder came down about a week or two ago, and I looked at it. There was one candidate that I thought would be a good candidate. He wasn't selected. I talked it over with John Calkin. John Calkin suggested that he wasn't in favor of the other four candidates, so I asked him to go ahead and try to recruit whatever candidate that he thinks would be presented to the civil service, and to contact the civil service for more applicants. That's where it stands right now.
And how many positions? The two, both positions?
I'm not too sure yet as far as the two position is concerned because of the financial condition, our financial condition. That is another problem that has to be faced, and if we zero down to the two candidates, then we'll look at the financial condition.
Thank you.